Thank you very much for that question. And first of all, I am Obi Abanurasi, and in answer to your question, I would like to explain what a virtual machine is. All right, and a virtual machine is a software-based computer that runs on an operating system and application, just like a physical computer. All right, so its core component includes a hypervisor, okay, and this hypervisor is a virtual machine monitor, and it is of two types. One is a bare metal hypervisor, which runs directly on a hardware like Microsoft Hyper-V. In my system, in my PC, I have activated that, a Hyper-V. Alright, the type 2 is the hosted. This type of hypervisor runs on top of the host. A host like a VirtualBox, Proximox, or a VMware workstation. All right, that's the first component, a hypervisor. The second component is the virtual CPU. Yeah, in a system, in a physical system, there is a central processing unit, and in the virtual machines too, that we have the virtual CPU. And this virtual CPU emulates a physical processor. It determines how many processing cores the virtual machine can use at a particular time. Another component is the virtual memory, which we call RAM. In a physical computer, we have the RAM. Okay. Now, in a virtual machine, we also have virtual RAM. Now, this virtual RAM allocates RAM from the host system, okay, and also controls how much memory the virtual machine can use for an application and operating system processes. Okay, another component is the virtual storage. All right, in a physical computer, we have a storage system that is handled by a hard disk. In a virtual machines too, we have a virtual system, a disk, VHD, VMDK, that acts as a hard drive, which stores the operating system, application, and data. We also have a virtual network interface card, which we call VNIC. In a physical computer, we call it NIC. NIC helps the system connect to networks, and in operating virtual machines too, this same NIC virtually also help to the virtual machine to connect to networks, and this can also be configured for NAT, which is known as network addressing translation. Okay, so these are the components that we can find in a virtual machines, of course. The second question is that how do we leverage visualization technology in a physical in a business setting? All right, now visualization provides a major advantages for businesses of all sizes. This is how it does it. First, server consolidation. All right, visualization runs multiple servers, web, database, servers, file server on a single physical machine. like in my system, I can host Windows, I can host server, I can also have a Linux. Okay, the benefit of that is that it reduces in a business environment is reduces hardware costs and also lower power consumption and easy management. All right, now a company can host an Active Directory, web, and web services on separate VM instead of 3 physical servers. Another one is disaster recovery and backup. Okay, so visualization can enable rapid restoration. Okay, for example, if a server fails, Windows can be restored, okay, within a minute, and then business continues to run. All right. Also, testing and developing environment. All right. In visualization technology creates a isolated environment for testing software updates and new applications. All right. Here, an IT team of a particular company can test their window update and application in a virtual machine before deploying it to all the company device. All right. Now, window another point is that it can enable remote work and virtual desktop. All right. Now, here, companies or staffs can securely access their company resources remotely without having to store data on their personal devices. Okay. Now, visualization technology in business settings also improve security and isolation. Here, virtual machines can run independently. Okay, now because failure in one does not affect the other. For example, in my physical system, if my server is down, my Linux is running, my Windows is running in my house, in my hypervisor. Okay, so summarily, a virtual machines consists of a virtualized hardware components managed by a hypervisor, allowing multiple operating systems to run on a single physical host on a single computer. Then in a business settings or in a business environment, visualization improves efficiency. It reduces costs, it enhances disaster recovery, and supports remote work. Also, it strengthens security. Thank you very much for asking me this question. These are the much that I can say as regards to this visualization, virtual machines, and how visualization technology can enhance businesses in our local area. Thank you.